Imagine this, the grid goes down. Not for a day, but for a month. The pharmacies are looted in the first 48 hours. Your stockpile of antibiotics has an expiration date. Your painkillers? They are running low. And then ... you get a cut. Just a small scratch on your finger while chopping wood. In the modern world, that's an annoyance. In a collapse scenario, that is a death sentence. In 1920, before penicillin, a simple infection was the #1 killer of mankind. And if you are relying solely on that little orange bottle from CVS or Walgreens, you are unknowingly preparing to return to the dark ages. But here is the secret they don't want you to realize. The most powerful pharmacy on earth doesn't have a closing time. It doesn't require insurance. And its products never expire. Today, I am going to show you 3 natural compounds that Big Pharma has tried to replace with synthetic, expensive and fragile alternatives. We are going to unlock the forbidden medicine cabinet, technologies of nature that will keep you alive when the system fails. Let's talk about the first lie. Expiration dates. If you look at your bottle of betadine or hydrogen peroxide, it has a shelf life. Hydrogen peroxide eventually turns into useless water. Alcohol evaporates. When the supply chain breaks, your ability to fight infection breaks with it. But archaeologists digging in Egyptian tombs found jars of honey that were 3,000 years old. They opened them up, and do you know what? It was still edible. It was still medicine. Item number 1 is raw honey and propolis. Not the sugary syrup in the plastic bear you buy at the supermarket that is dead sugar. I'm talking about raw, unfiltered medicinal honey. Why does the medical industry prefer synthetic creams? Because they can patent them. You can't patent nature. But here is the science they gloss over. Honey is hygroscopic. It contains very little water in its natural state, but it attracts water like a magnet. When you put raw honey on a wound, it literally sucks the water out of the bacteria cells through a process called osmosis. It dehydrates the pathogens until they die. It creates a barrier that is chemically impossible for bacteria to survive in. And then there is propolis, the bee glue. This is what bees use to sterilize their hives. It is one of the most potent broad-spectrum antibiotics found in nature. Studies have shown it effective against MRSA and bacteria that have become resistant to modern drugs. Stop trusting your life to a bottle that expires in 2026. Stockpile raw honey. Learn to harvest propolis. This is an antibiotic that lasts forever. Now let's address pain. In a survival situation, pain isn't just uncomfortable, it's debilitating. If your back gives out, you can't carry water. If your tooth throbs, you can't think straight. So you stockpile ibuprofen, Tylenol, naproxen. But did you know that NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, are a leading cause of kidney failure and stomach ulcers? In a grid-down world where you might be dehydrated or malnourished, taking these synthetic drugs could shut down your organs faster than the pain itself. Enter item number 2, white willow bark. Long before Bayer trademarked aspirin in 1899, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, was prescribing willow bark tea for pain and fever. The active compound is salicin. When you ingest it, your body converts it into salicylic acid. But unlike the synthetic version, which hits your system like a sledgehammer, the natural plant compounds in willow bark buffer the acid, making it far gentler on your stomach lining. It is nature's anti-inflammatory. It grows by rivers. It grows in wetlands. It is literally free medicine standing in the mud. Why did we switch to the synthetic pill? Convenience and profit. You can't put a barcode on a tree. But if the pharmacies close, that tree becomes your most valuable asset. Just be warned, like aspirin, it thins the blood. But knowing how to identify, harvest, and brew this bark means you never have to beg a doctor for pain relief again. Finally, we have the 2 things that kill fastest in a collapse: poisoning and bleeding out. You drink bad water. You eat a mushroom you shouldn't have. In a hospital, they pump your stomach. In the wild, you die. Unless you have item number 3, activated charcoal. This isn't the stuff in your BBQ grill. This is carbon processed to have a massive surface area. 1 single gram of activated charcoal has the surface area of a football field. Think about that. It works by adsorption, with a D. It binds toxins, chemicals, and bacteria to its surface and carries them out of your body. It is the universal antidote for ingestion poisoning. It keeps indefinitely. It is cheap. And it saves lives when there is no 911 to call. But what if you are bleeding? You can buy expensive quick clot combat gauze for $50 a pack. Or you can learn about yarrow, Achillea millefolium. Its Latin name comes from Achilles, the Greek warrior. Legend says he used this plant to staunch the bleeding of his soldiers. Modern science confirms it contains alkaloids that accelerate blood clotting and reduce inflammation. It grows in almost every lawn in America, often treated as a weed. The industry sells you a $50 bandage. Nature gives you a free plant that stops bleeding. Which one offers true independence? The nickel-iron battery I told you about gives you immortal power. Arugol gives you immortal warmth. And these three compounds, honey, willow, and charcoal, give you immortal medicine. The system is designed to make you a customer for life. They want you dependent on the refill, the prescription, the expiration date. But a person who knows how to harvest their own medicine, who understands the chemistry of nature, is a person who cannot be controlled. You become ungovernable. You become anti-fragile. Don't just stockpile what they sell you. Build a library of knowledge. Turn your backyard into a pharmacy. If you want to know exactly how to prepare these natural remedies, I put together a free guide linked in the description. But before you go, there is one more layer to this. Physical survival is one thing, but what about information survival? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to build a communication network that the government cannot shut down. Click here to watch part 3. Stay independent.